All right, so welcome to creating a roadmap for customer first experiences with utilizing Microsoft 365. And thank you all for viewing this recording. My name is John Accardi. I am the partner here that leads the Microsoft practice at Mazars. Let's go ahead and show everybody the agenda. So I'm going to take 30 seconds and let you know who Mazars is. I'm sure you all know who Microsoft is, but not Mazars. Talk a little bit about what we see as challenges that you might or might not see in the retail CPG space, and then talk about what if those challenges could get addressed or go away or be solved in an efficient way, and then how Mazars with Microsoft can help you in that journey. So a little bit about Mazars. Mazars is a global company. Made up of different partnerships in over 90 countries across the globe, 318 offices. Globally, we're about a $2 billion firm. Here in the US, we're a shade under 300 million with 1,000 professionals. Traditionally, over 116 years, Mazars has been an audit and tax firm. About 40, 50 years ago, like most audit and tax firms, they got into consulting, and a few years back added a Microsoft practice to a number of different consulting practices within Mazars. And again, as I mentioned, I lead the Microsoft practice, and with me today, Ivan Cole is my CTO, and Randy Davidson is our lead retail SME in our practice as well. And they'll be providing some color commentary as we go through the presentation today. So some of the challenges that we see in the marketplace, we've done a lot of retail in our background. We've done a lot of retail implementations, primarily almost exclusively with Microsoft, all the way back. Ivan's got experience all the way back with the old Microsoft platform GP. So we've been doing retail for a long time and have some insights based on those customer experiences on what your challenges may be. Ivan or Randy, maybe you want to add a couple of anecdotes to what's on the slide there?
Yeah, I think, John, kind of the first thing when we consider the challenges is why do these challenges exist? Where did it come from? What are some of the problems that basically cause these issues that we need to address? And if we're looking first at from a B2B perspective, customers, retail customers, the end customer have constantly changing expectations. We need to be able to address those continuously as we're moving forward. And customers are expecting that we know things about them. So things that we gain, or can we gain information about customers as they engage with us, and then can we use that to make our engagement with them that much more relevant? And then they're also demanding consistency across the channels. So can I move from digital e-commerce into a store experience and carry that, carry that same experience across the different channels? And a lot of those challenges come from the fact that technology limitations. You're using legacy systems, disparate systems that don't really talk to each other. So then you're limited in your ability to gather or glean that information. And it may be just a limitation of those systems because you don't have the capabilities to be able to stand up features to meet that next requirement or capability, whatever it is. When we look at from a B2B perspective, a lot of businesses now wanting to offer that same type of experience to their B2B customers. And from a B2B perspective, as that end customer, you want to be able to place orders, track those orders, where are they, what's happening. Maybe I also want to be able to view products and pricing and product availability. I need to be able to see those things online in real time, as well as if I've got invoices from previous purchases, can I pay them online? And continuing to move forward, really, what are those benefits? Because now when you're having these engagements with your customers, you're being able to introduce new products and services to them. Maybe you're going to test new offerings, and really being able to expand upsell or cross-sell opportunities. And Ivan, from a platform perspective with Dynamics 365, how do we address those things? What are the
Randy, if I may, Randy, so what you're really talking about here and what we're seeing in the marketplace is, how do you get to know your customer better? How do you help them to see things within your product venue that they might not naturally see. So know them better in order to provide them a bigger wallet, if you will, of what they can look at and what they can acquire and help with not only loyalty, awareness, and revenue all in one.
Absolutely, and maybe it's a new feature. So just as an example, one customer we've dealt with using D365 with commerce and point of sale in the store, we all know the challenges that resulted because of COVID. They were able to stand up a feature within D365 for curbside pickup, along with using the Power Platform that enabled them to implement that really quickly and then meet, a business need, but also a customer requirement because of the global conditions at that point in time.
Yeah, omni-channel is really big. I know, like with my I've got a 16-year-old daughter, and we're at Nordstrom Rack, and there's something that she wants in the store, but then there's another pair of shoes and it's the wrong size, so we have to order. So the ability then to go to the cash register and have that ability to pick up something in the store, order something online to either have it delivered at home or pick it up there. All that omni-channel is really where we're at in today's environment.
Well, exactly, and that's where the platform with D365 allows you to do that. In your example, if I'm in store, with store commerce, I can do the cash and carry along with, ship to home because it's not in the store, or pick up in another store, and you're able to do that in a single transaction as opposed to multiple transactions or go through hoops to be able to get there.
Great. Yeah, we probably led on into the next slide. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Yeah, so as we've been talking about, it's a lot about people, and people in this slide, what we're talking about, the challenges that can be addressed. People can be an individual customer. For those of you out there that have a B2B, it can be another business, it could be your employees, and some might have a hybrid of all two or all three, of course, right? So we really want to help to address how to better communicate, reach that whoever that other person, that end user, that customer on the other end, improve processes, and how the technology, the Microsoft technology, brings that about and helps to solve that. Go ahead to the next slide. So a little bit more again. So from a Mazars standpoint, what we're able to bring to the table here, empowered by the Microsoft products, is the full stack. So whether it's your retail, your back office, even from a security standpoint, we have a cybersecurity group, and then the Azure teams and office, really being able to bring a one-stop shop to bring the things that we're going to be talking about today, bring those together for you. All right, let's talk a little bit more about how we go about doing that. And Ivan Cole here is going to talk a little bit, just at a high level, on the methodology and how do we bring this to success, right? It's one thing to just install, but how does one ensure that we can actually understand what it is your challenges are? Because you each have different challenges, a variation of what we've talked about in the last 5 or 6 minutes or so. But then how do we ensure that we understand that and not just install some great product and technology, but that it really does achieve what it is that that we've talked about that you can achieve. So Ivan, maybe just a little bit about our IDEA methodology, which is based on the Microsoft value assessments.
Right. So we leverage the Microsoft Catalyst framework that's founded on design thinking principles. And what we do here is we really help determine what the priorities are for the business. That's important because when we get to some of the other slides, we want to help you plan out the phases. If today you're running separate systems, if you're lucky, they're loosely integrated. If you're not, they're not integrated at all. How do we get from where you are today to the future? And we want to prioritize. Sometimes customers come and they have to start from the foundation and work their way up. Some need to start with retail first. They need point of sale because they have a legacy point of sale system that's out of service. So we have to help establish those priorities, and we have a really good methodology to help walk through that and how to get you to the point where we can build the roadmap to where you need to be. Next slide.
I love this slide, Ivan. So this is a really great, great graphic, I think, folks, that can show all the areas that the Microsoft Solutions technology can bring to the table. And maybe, Ivan, you could tell a little story around this and just point out the different areas and how it really all comes together in one platform.
Yeah, I think, one of the most compelling things to me that I've seen is that Microsoft is the only ERP CRM vendor that is invested directly in retail commerce functionality. We have our own point of sale system. We have our own e-commerce platform that's pre-integrated out of the gate. So you don't have to start figuring out how to make these disparate systems talk to one another. It's all works together seamlessly from the beginning. And Microsoft is investing in all these areas over time, and we get to continuously introduce them as new investments come out. Like we can do bots and virtual agents, and we have both B2B and B2C, and some companies have one, some have the other, and some have both concurrently. We can actually service up all those requirements in a single integrated platform, all with everything you need for a complete end-to-end customer experience. We think it's a great platform to leverage, whether you're a CPG customer or a retailer with your own direct-to-retail channels. We can handle all of those scenarios in one pre-integrated system, and it's a really compelling offering.
And that's fairly unique in the marketplace right now.
It is.
The fact that one ERP system can bring all of that and integrated out of the box is pretty compelling.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, on the next slide, one of the parts that that's one of my favorite parts is that Microsoft continuously invests in updates and new modules, and new functionality that help improve businesses. So every month, Microsoft makes available monthly platform and application updates that you can choose to take. You don't have to take all of them. We plan them around your busy and blackout periods, but they offer the ability not to just get updates that are good for everybody, but new modules. So Microsoft would introduce, for example, task management, clienteling, subscription billing. Those can be then enabled in a feature management console, so you can prepare your users, prepare data, train people, and then implement new functionality all the time. Now, to us, that's the true definition of digital transformation, where you can introduce continuous business process improvements all the time. And essentially, this is the last ERP CRM system any customer would ever have to implement, because we're going to keep it up to date, and you no longer have these large, complex, difficult upgrades. We keep the system update continuously going forward. Also very, very compelling. And we also look at the metrics of adoption, like, are we lighting up new features? Are we increasing basket size? Are we increasing upsell, cross-sell? Are we reducing the hours that workers spend processing information and things like that? We do that not just once, but we do it all the time. So that's a continuous measurement of how we evaluate the system.
Cool. All right, next slide. Thank you. All right, so what are some key elements? And I know, Randy, you've done a lot of implementations with us, but what are some of the key elements to ensure a successful adoption, right? Implementing a new system is always, people, human beings, we hate change, right? Just think about anything in your daily life, right? Change is not something that we all gravitate towards, right? So how, maybe some examples on how, with our methodology, what the methodology that Mazars brings to an implementation, how do we ensure that the adoption happens and the results that we talked about on the previous slides actually materialize?
Well, a lot of it has to do with that, as Ivan was talking about, is that, kind of continuous improvement, continuous adoption. So one of the things we look at in an implementation is not just what that immediate requirement is for today, but part of that idea framework and methodology that we're looking at is what are the long-term goals and objectives. And then when we start an implementation, we keep those things in mind so that as we look downstream to the future, we don't have to go back and do a lot of rework or any rework at that point in time. We want to make sure that the foundation is in place first. And then that enables you to then move to the next iteration, the third iteration, fourth, whatever the case is. And that also sets you up from a long-term perspective, looking at, 2 years from now, how do you adopt the next feature? And that continuous improvement ultimately, and that's baked into our methodology in this process.
I'll just interject one thing here. The key that's top of mind with everyone is data and the quality of that data and how we use that data. Using Microsoft's customer insights, the customer data platform, we can actually inject things like customer churn, propensity, next best action, other key metrics that we could then integrate directly into point of sale or other parts of the system so that store associates understand what the customer preferences are and what drives those customers and what they need to do to make a customer satisfied, increase their satisfaction, increase sales and revenue. So using those platforms and that data, injecting it directly into retail systems, commerce systems is what Microsoft is all about. And we help customers leverage all those technologies together to achieve that personalization, differentiation, and how we actually impact the customer's experience going forward.
Yeah, and you also mentioned
for those on the webcast, and users and customers or prospects, companies out there, I think what you're hearing is that there's wins along the way. This is not an elongated wait for it kind of thing, right? There are steps along the way that you'll see success, and value and success can be in different areas along the journey, right? So you'll see, and there's an end game. There's I've been in this for a long time, and what I love about our approach and utilizing the Microsoft platform is that there is a beginning, middle, and end. This is not a forever and ever and ever implementation or process. We really, understand those requirements up front, agree on them, and deliver wins along the way so that your team feels good, and it's not an all-at-once tsunami kind of thing. You have things that different areas that come alive and win for you in the process. Sorry, Randy, you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to go back to Ivan's point, even about data governance, and with the platform and one customer we're working with today, we're building dashboards that show them or start to identify problems where there's some master data issues. So did I create a product, but I inadvertently missed some of the dependencies that are required? So then we can mitigate downstream effects of other things that are happening. But data governance, just in general, is, I'll say, a bit of a mantra that we put in place with this overall methodology as well. But it's extremely important along with change management. And then from a change management perspective, how do you champion those things downstream as more and more users are onboarded to the system and are adopting the new technologies and new functions and features?
Okay, next slide. So, I was kind of just talking about, so along the way and along the journey, here are areas that you can actually measure, and we work with our clients to actually see some impact. What are the impacts that you can see from this system? And, obviously the light blue are all around revenue, gains and revenue enhancements. And we talked about that at the beginning, whether it's knowing the customer more and understanding what they're interested in and what they're looking for, maybe helping to have them see things that they didn't see that are available, different ways of them getting to the product, or the product getting to them, right? And then reducing some cost efficiencies as well, which we feel this does. Guys, I'm not sure, because from a time standpoint, but are there any quick examples of things that we've done that you want to highlight here?
It's a good question, because ultimately, as you said, like we're really looking at these efficiencies. So I think one example when we look at these efficiencies, and it's an example I think Ivan that we've talked about multiple times, when you look at the impact and the efficiencies on people, and retention of employees today is a significant issue. So how many employees are leaving organizations because the ability to do their job is extremely cumbersome and complex. So now when we put in some of these new features, functions, automation, workflow, basically enabling your workforce and the organization to do more with less. Yeah. Now there's incentive for your workers and employees to stay because you are enabling them to be better at what they do every day.
Yeah, that's a great one, Randy. We had one where we had a customer that on the system that they were on previously, the president of the firm even said, my folks are not happy. This is not, we're doing really well outside in the stores, but they're just not happy working on the system. And Mazars, along with Microsoft, has come in with a D365 implementation that is generally out of the box, right? Out of the box functionality. And all of a sudden, in 7 months, an attitude within the corporate office has changed dramatically, right? So having a system that isn't, 50 years old or 5 years old, right, or antiquated, is that's a great, people retention is a really good one. Being able to, see better about what in fact are you losing money, are you not, being on top of returns or missed inventory, all those different things that really help manage a business. We've talked a lot about the people end, but there's a lot of operational benefits as well.
Absolutely.
Randy had some examples where a client was having an issue with potential fraud, and we were able to put in policies so that we could reduce and track and make sure to reduce any potential for any kind of fraud through use of the system. We've done things with surfacing up both cross-sell and related products and using Microsoft Product Recommender to increase basket size. And it's a natural thing if somebody buys one product to say, hey, this other product goes along with it. So we've done a lot to help with that process. One of the other things that we've done on our Innovation Center website, we have a virtual try-on experience. So what if we could reduce the number of returns? So if somebody could virtually try on with their body shape, style, different, let's say a garment or a hat or something like that, see how it looks, and then order, let's say, only the right size or 1 or 2 sizes instead of ordering 5 sizes and returning 3 later, which is what a lot of people do. So we're very mindful of areas that we can actually attack to increase sales, reduce cost, reduce inefficiency, and make the customer experience smoother and better.
And hopefully what you're all hearing throughout this is that we are much more than installers. What Mazars helps to bring to the table is we do have a lot of business experience. That's why we all have gray hair, I guess. But a lot of business experience. So our consultants are actually, while they know and they're masters at the Microsoft practice, but they're also business consultants as well. So we're not here to just reinvent processes that maybe aren't efficient, but we're here to take this great technology, understand your processes, and hopefully evolve and enhance them so that your business operates better as well. Okay, next slide. Great, next slide. So what Mazars has done, just we've talked a lot about the B2B and the commerce, and I showed you on an earlier slide the different areas that we do cover as a firm. So there's many areas where you can get started. You can start with a B2B, but what we've designed are some rapid implementations. We're not going to go into these deeply, but here's a quick listing of 5 of them, and these are fast. They're anywhere from 4 to 10 weeks. Relatively inexpensive. They range from $25,000 to $200,000, depending on which one you want to do. But we have a rapid contact center in 3 different sizes, depending on what features you might want to. So you could try a production contact center without going large in an enterprise. We do have a rapid procurement that doesn't preclude that you have to have right now Microsoft financial software, but we can put a Microsoft procurement system in a short period of time frame. Same thing with human resources. And if any of you out there have an older Microsoft platform or maybe a third-party platform, we do have a 4-week assessment to help you understand where you are today and what it would take to actually go to the cloud in the D365 arena. You can see these up on our website. If you're a Microsoft person or a Microsoft customer and you have access to AppSource, these are all up on AppSource as well, and we'll have a contact information at the back. So if any of these types of things maybe intrigue you right now versus a whole retail or commerce system, there's areas that we could help to get you started and sort of get your toe in the water, if you will. Go ahead. Real simple, right? I kind of just talked about that. Express implementations or rapid implementations. It gets a little quick win, gets you to understand a little bit better of the value of the software, and actually gets you into production where you actually see some quick benefits to your organization. Go ahead. Maybe Ivan and Randy talk a little bit about our roadmap.
Yeah. So next slide. This is a big topic that's close to my heart because, as I mentioned earlier, many customers have different phases of where they're at with their existing legacy systems. Some need a point of sale system first. Some want to start with finance and supply chain and order management and things like that. It's really important for us to then make sure that as we design each phase, we're very aware of any future downstream so we can avoid or eliminate the potential for any rework later on. So we want you to have a smooth path on your journey to all the applications you want to implement. We have deep experience with Microsoft Dynamics. We've been with Microsoft since the very beginning. I was involved in the very first retail go live, some of our team members with me on that in the US. So that was really exciting. And that was a long time ago, as you can imagine. The product has evolved significantly. We have a monthly alignment with the Microsoft R&D team. We work on new features, roadmap items. We give customer feedback for our key implementations so that they're aware of needs the customers have and that are evolving as time goes on. So that communication level interaction is really important. We also are very focused on your priorities. We have to understand what implementation phases affect the business in the most positive way, and how do we do that in the most efficient way. So that's what we're really keen on doing, and that's one area that we can significantly help. We also are very aware of efficiency. We don't want to have any downstream rework. If we know that we're going to be implementing other phases later, if we do just enough foundation design in the beginning, what we call foundation design, we can anticipate how we're going to implement in the phases so that as you go from phase to phase, things run smoothly and quickly and efficiently as you grow and your use of new modules and expand on whatever initial implementation phase we agree on. All right, next slide. Oh, Randy, I'm sorry, you were.
No, I was going to say, so, Ivan, we talked about how customers, how we implement these things with customers, but how do we as an organization at Mazars ensure we understand what these new capabilities are and translate that into, how we can showcase those things to our customers so they can actually see in action how these capabilities can improve their business. So I'll let you take this one.
Okay, well, Randy, that was a perfect lead into something you and I have been involved in for many years. Randy and I, as well as many other team members, have been involved in building innovation centers. We've built at least 2 previously, and what you're looking at is the evolution of our third at the Mazars New York office. Initially, we started as a virtual rendering, which was the screenshot on the bottom of the screen. And this past NRF, we launched the first physical area where we have, retail devices and carts and merchandise, and we can showcase the end-to-end customer experience. We call this the Mazars US Innovation Center using the acronym MUSIC, where we orchestrate the music of integrated Microsoft Cloud business applications. And this allows any customer to see the end-to-end consumer experience, or if you're looking for the business buyer experience, we can show the end-to-end story. It's not just the front-end data collection, but it's also how do we fulfill? How do we use the warehouse system? How do we use finance and reporting? How do we use BI and analytics to make the full picture come together? So this is a great capability that we have. We're going to continue to build this over time, and we encourage any of our clients to come visit us if you're back in New York. We know that many of you travel to NRF anyway, but even before then, we'd love to see you there.
Yes, as Ivan pointed out, so obviously this is in our New York office. So those of you in the Northeast, easy commute in at any time. One of the neat things that we didn't have previously, what we do now is that we can combine this, and we just did this during NRF. We've got 2 clients that are in New York City that have stores. They're not headquartered in New York City, but they've got stores in New York City, one on Times Square and one on Fifth Avenue. So we actually can combine this, where it's more of a lab, if you will, and we can do some things based on what you might want to see. Then we can go actually see it live and working. And Times Square is about 3 blocks from our office, so it's a short walk to that facility and a little bit longer to the one on Fifth Avenue. So we, certainly encourage and invite folks, if you want to explore some more, to come visit us there and schedule some time, and then we'll make arrangements with our 2 clients in the city. Thanks, Ivan. Okay, next slide. All right, that was the from our presentation standpoint. We have a lot of appendix items that go into some deeper information on the things that we've talked about. If there's any interest in following up with us, there's our, right there to the left on the contact is our Biz Apps. Didn't want to throw up a bunch of individual emails, then you have to figure out who to respond to. But if you respond to that, one of us or one of our sales executives will get back to you right away. Look forward to working with you. If you're from Microsoft, hopefully we can help to work with you. If you're a prospect or a customer out there or investigating Microsoft, please give us a shout, and we're happy to have a conversation and answer some things and go into some of this hopefully useful information in a way that's more personalized to you.